Well, hello there, friends. Three card Thursday for April 1st, 2021. 20,021. That would be something, wouldn't it? And let's go right to the table camera here for our three cards. And I'm using the Thoth deck for the first time. And I've got to tell you, I have really been enjoying this deck. It arrived about a week ago. And I've used it for my daily draws since last Saturday, and learning a lot and finding out that there's really I thought that this deck would be kind of darker than it is, but I think that was just my perceptions based on one of the creators of it, of course Crowley, who's a scary guy, no question. But anyway, the deck itself is just the images are gorgeous, and I'm finding the interpretations and what I'm learning about it to be really fun and really interesting as well. So we have three cards here, and we're going to generally go kind of past, present, future, or in influences that are passing, kind of what's going on at the present moment, and what to expect for the weekend to come as we enter into the Easter weekend here. And the first card is the Five of Discs. And as you can see, it's designated worry. Fives are cards of change, and discs, of course, relate to the material, physical, financial dimensions of our lives. This is the card that in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck shows the two struggling, impoverished folks walking past the stained glass window of a church, and they're kind of trudging through the cold, while the light of the church is right there nearby. And so I've always thought of that card as sort of those contrasts, being out in the cold, in the dark, and yet there is light there if we can find it, and if we can share it. So this may be something to bring into this weekend, if we can, to be mindful of people who may be struggling, who may be worried, and to do what we can to share comfort and kindness and light and cheer with those folks. This also kind of may be an indication that if we have been worried about things coming into this time period, that's about to pass by. Maybe we're coming into time where things kind of settle down and are a little more stable and a little less worrisome. That's how I would read that one in that position. And I would love to hear from other readers how you would interpret that card, or also from if you have questions or comments and you're not particularly a card reader or anything, but if any of these cards are resonating with you and you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you as well. You can either comment on the video or head on over to the weblog at brightblessingstarot.com and let me know what you think. Right here in the middle we have the Knight of Cups. And in the Thoth deck, knights are kings. So instead of king, queen, knight, and page, we have knight, queen, prince, and princess. So those are the four court cards in each suit in the Thoth deck. And I always have trouble kind of getting my brain around that. Yet when I first saw this card pop up, I'm thinking about the Marseille and the Rider-Waite-Smith's knights, and I had to kind of recalibrate there and go, oh no, wait a minute, this would be the same as a king in those decks. But in any case, this is the kind of the top of the court cards for the suit of cups. Of course, cups, the suit of emotions, the suit of our social relations, the suit of the heart. And we see this knight moving forward, carrying the chalice, and looks like we got Cancer climbing out of the chalice there. And I must confess, I don't have a good command yet of uh, the zodiac and some of the other symbolism that goes into these cards. But I believe that this card represents a sort of affable, charming, um, a mature, person uh, who is in command of their emotions, who's an excellent communicator, who's an excellent navigator, uh, but maybe lacks a little bit of depth sometimes, so maybe a little bit glib in their charm. Uh, so in this position, at this moment, I would say that we, are coming into a period where it's okay to relax and to not so much wear our hearts on our sleeves, but to not be afraid to express our emotions, to not be afraid to make that connection with others, even though it may seem a little bit shallow, uh, that it's okay to just have a nice, relaxed interaction with other people. So for folks who may be getting together with others over the Easter weekend, maybe with family members or whatever, especially if folks have been vaccinated and all of that, and it's safe to do so when you're getting together with others for a meal or something. Uh, a lot of times those holiday gatherings can be kind of tense, and maybe conversations and things that have happened in the past or old hurts kind of tend to resurface during that time. I think this card is telling us that it's okay to just sort of go along, uh, to be cordial and affable to people, and not have to dig too terribly deep and dredge things up. So this is another thing this card stands for me at least, is diplomacy. And so, maybe it's telling us be the one in the group that is able to kind of keep things smooth and level, and make sure that everyone is just relaxed and enjoying themselves, um, but maybe not having to dig too deeply uh, this weekend. That's the way I would read that one anyway. Or if there are difficult subjects that are being broached or something like that, um, try to be kind and open-hearted and diplomatic about it, I think would be the best advice there. Now we get to the Seven of Wands. And this is a card that came up earlier this week in daily draws as well. And this is, I think, the card of what happens when you're not able to smooth things over, when things become contentious, and when planning and organizing sort of starts to fall apart and disintegrate, and things just pop up, and you may feel beset. You may this is the card again in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck that shows the person standing on the hill with their wand, kind of holding off the challenging wands that are pointing up at them from below. And I've always thought of that as the card of kind of playing a whack-a-mole. Too many things coming at once, and you're kind of having to beat back each of them. So if you find yourself in that situation over the next few days, the advice of this card, I think, is to know your own truth, know who you are, know what you are passionate about, and take courage in that. When everything else goes out the window, you need to rely on the truth and the principles that you hold to and your own values. So got a little bit of a contradiction here. I think that what we're saying is, what the cards are saying anyway is, let's try to be diplomatic. Let's try to keep things on an even keel, not not try to aggravate things and not try to dig too deep. But if you are feeling beset, then rely on the passion that is deep within you, the truth that is deep within you, and hang in there. This card is about courage and valor and persevering even when worse comes to worse. So I hope that is not what we're faced with in the coming days, but if we are, we can prepare now, by kind of centering ourselves, thinking about the things that are most important to us, visualizing how we would want to react in a contentious situation, but being prepared to come from a place of passion and truth, and the best sense of who we really are if we are confronted with anything contentious. So an interesting draw here for our 3-card Thursday. I would love to hear from you if you have, again, either thoughts about this reading or comments or questions. I'd love to hear from you, either comments here on the video or comments over on the weblog. I will have a post up with this video on it probably yet today. And if you are celebrating or observing the Easter holiday coming up, I wish you the best on that. I hope it is a beautiful time for you, filled with lots of grace and blessings. And if you are not, I wish you the same. I wish you a beautiful weekend filled with all the best. I hope that this finds you healthy and happy and safe, and we will see you again soon. Thank you so much.